The world's most famous fast food chain KFC. The name of this uncle is Colonel Harland Sanders. He spent his whole life as a laborer doing dozens of different jobs and business but failed. And remained unfortunate man till age of 65, living his most of lifespan under bridges and on footpaths. But after 65 years, what happened that changed his fate? In this journey of success, what difficulties did he face? And in the end, why did his own company KFC Corporation file a court case against him? Welcome to Mr. Dar videos once again. Viewers, Harland Sanders was born on September 9, 1890 in a small farm near the city of Henryville, Indiana. He had to face the first difficulty of his life at the age of 6, and that was the death of his father. Because he was the eldest of his brothers and his mother had to stay out of the house all day to earn money, that's why Harland had the responsibility to raise his younger brothers at such a young age. And at the age of 7, he had mastered cooking bread and vegetables. He fed that bread to his sister and his brother. But when he started eating it himself, he remembered that his mother had gone to the factory for work hungry. He put half of the bread in a bag and hung the bag on his shoulder. He held his sister's hand in one hand and his brother's hand in the other. And he walked 4 kilometers to his mother's factory. He kept looking for his mother in the factory for a long time. When he got tired, he held his sister and brother's hand and stood in the field. When his mother saw her children from a distance, she came running and hugged all 3 of them. He opened the bag and presented the bread he had made to his mother. His mother cried for a long time and kept kissing his hands. All 4 of his mother's children sat in the shade and cried. His mother kissed his little hands again and again and started praying for him. But when his mother's salary became very difficult for their survival, he started a job at a farm to feed the animals. This was Harland's first job in his life, and at such a young age, his heart did not seem to work. That's why he was fired from this job. When Harland was 12 years old, his mother got married again. And another difficulty began from here. Harland's stepfather did not like children living with him, because of which there were fights in the house every day. Finally, the day came when Harland was separated from his mother. He started living with his younger brothers with a relative. Harland once again started working on the farm to raise his brothers. At 6 in the morning, he would feed the animals on the farm. After that he would get ready and go to school, and in the evening he used to do the job of peeling corn. At this time, Harland was only 13 years old, when he used to do so much work alone in a very tight schedule. But during that time, another obstacle fell on Harland. Yes, because he was not able to study properly, that's why he was expelled from school. In an interview, Colonel Harland said that he did not understand algebra. For the next 2 years, Harland continued to work on the farm, but because it was very difficult to pay the expenses. That's why Harland wanted to join the U.S. Army. At that time, he was only 16 years old, but to join the Army, it was necessary to be older. Harland showed a false age in the papers and became a soldier in the Army. After living in the Army for only 1 year, when they found out his real age, he was also expelled from the Army. After leaving the Army, Harland was 17 years old. And for the next 23 years, there were many ups and downs in Harland's life. During this period, he got married despite the fact that there was no job that Harland had left. Sometimes he was seen as a streetcar conductor, sometimes he had to work as a railroad fireman, insurance salesman, lawyer, steamboat operator, and even he did the job of selling tires. If he had left the job himself, he would have been expelled from somewhere. Finally, one day his wife Josephine also left him alone. Because now she was also fed up with Harland's career. At the age of 34, that is 1924, Harland met the general manager of Kentucky Oil Company. He offered Harland to run a gas station. Because of his situation, Harland immediately accepted this offer. In the early days, the gas station sales used to be very down, but then Harland started welcoming the customers coming there. Because of this extra care of the customers, the gas station sales increased 3 times, and once again, Harland started to see happiness in his life. The days of happiness had just begun, but once again, fate left him. Yes, economic depression surrounded the whole world, including America. Because of which Harland's gas station sales were so low that it became difficult for him to survive. Kentucky Oil Company, and finally they took back the gas station from Harland. And once again, Harland washed his hands of his job. Now Harland was 40 years old when he was once again made jobless. In 1930, Shell Oil Company saw Harland's experience. So it offered him to run the gas station again. As soon as Harland got this offer, he got a chance to save the drowning hopes. That's why he accepted this offer immediately. As soon as he took charge of the gas station, Harland started customer care again to increase sales. As this station was on a highway, so Harland used to cook different things for the passengers coming there. At that time, he had only one dining table in his room on which 6 people could sit and eat. At first, customers liked his hot cookies, country ham and string beans, but later fried chicken was also added to his menu. As soon as he saw his fried chicken became so famous, he opened a whole restaurant with the gas station, in which there was a place for 150 people to eat. And this restaurant was named Harland Sanders Coat and Cafe, where customers used to eat only while passing through, but now, people from far away started coming to Sanders Cafe. In the meantime, Harland had to face another challenge. It always took 30 minutes to make the first fried chicken, due to which customers had to wait a lot. Because of this problem, the image of Harland's restaurant was getting spoiled. To solve this problem, Harland tried a new trick, and instead of frying the chicken in a pan, he fried it in a pressure cooker. Surprisingly, this trick worked, and the chicken, cooked in 30 minutes, was ready in just 8 minutes. Harland was very happy with his restaurant and kept improving his fried chicken recipe day by day. But suddenly another problem arose. World War II started in 1939 and America fell in an economic crisis. Because of this crisis, the footfall of customers on Harland's restaurant decreased and people stopped coming out of their homes. The situation got so bad that it became difficult for Harland to survive. Because of this, in 1942, when Harland was 52 years old, he closed Harland Sanders Cafe. When World War II ended in 1945, Harland decided to open a restaurant again. For now he could not do so much work alone. And neither did he have the money to open a restaurant. Harland met his friend, and with his help he opened restaurant again on the highway of Georgetown. Harland made so much progress from this restaurant that in 1949, the governor of Kentucky gave him the title of colonel, and this was the day after which Harland was known as Colonel Harland Sanders. The friend with whom he opened this restaurant, if things were messed up, and he gave his friend money and owned the full restaurant by himself. Days passed and Colonel Harland's fried chicken became famous. One day, Colonel Harland got a call from a real estate agent who gave him a very good offer to sell the restaurant. That agent wanted to buy Colonel Harland's restaurant for $164,000. The agent kept giving the same offer many times, but Colonel Harland did not agree in any case. And another problem arises here. After 6 months, the government launched a new highway project, because of which all the traffic was bypassed from here. Now 90% of the traffic in front of Colonel Harland's restaurant was shifted. As a result, his sales also broke 90%. Now Colonel Harland had no option left. The agent who was offering $164,000. He was not even willing to buy for $80,000. In the end, Colonel Harland sold this restaurant for $75,000. Had no other option but to earn $105 for Social Security. After seeing many failures in life, Colonel Harland got the idea, why not franchise his fried chicken recipe? For this, he registered his recipe as Kentucky Fried Chicken. He used to visit different American restaurants in his car with a cooker and chicken. There he used to cook his chicken. If the owner of the restaurant liked his chicken, then he used to buy rides from him by hand. Every chicken was given 4 cents to Colonel Harland. Colonel Harland kept roaming in his car and kept increasing the network of his recipe. Colonel Harland said in his interview that many times he had to spend nights in his car. At times, his recipe was famous only in Kentucky, but now, in the whole of America, the name of Colonel Harland Sanders began to be discussed. After 8 years, when Colonel Harland was 73 years old, he had given more than 600 restaurants his chicken franchise. Now Colonel Harland was too old and he was not able to manage all this. For this reason, in 1964 Colonel Harland sold KFC Corporation to a businessman in Kentucky for $16.5 million, which is about 1.24 billion rupees. But it was decided in that deal that the corporation of KFC will always have a picture of Colonel Harland Sanders, and Colonel Harland will go to TV interviews on behalf of KFC. That is, KFC will run by someone else, but his face will always be Colonel Harland Sanders. For which Colonel Harland was given a salary of $6,250 from KFC. Viewers, let me also tell you, the company that bought KFC from Colonel Harland later, he also changed the recipe on which Colonel Harland sued the company. Colonel Harland believed that the recipe I have not made, why is my photo being put on it and sold? In the name of his wife Claudia Sanders, he opened a restaurant in Shelbyville, where the original KFC chicken menu was kept, but his own company KFC Corporation did not like this at all. And this company sued Colonel Harland Sanders in court. It was said in the court decision that Colonel Harland cannot run this restaurant. For this reason, he had to sell Claudia Sanders Cafe, but even today that restaurant is present in the name of Claudia Sanders Dinner House, and this is the only non-KFC restaurant in the world where KFC's authorized fried chicken sale is held. At the age of 90, Colonel Harland died, leaving behind billions of dollars. I hope you will like and share this episode of Mr. Dar. Thank you very much for your support. See you in the next video.